What's going on, everybody? C4, welcome back to the channel. Today we're here for a new episode of our Madden Retro Rebuilds. We start the Madden 12 season, go a full decade, 10 years to current day Madden, all the way to Madden 22. And we try to make a team into a dynasty. Today, I'm just putting this one to the top of the list. A team that I've been wanting to rebuild. In the history, before I was even a Madden content creator, there's always a couple teams that I would gravitate towards that weren't the Philadelphia Eagles that I love playing with in Madden. One was the Raiders, the other was the Houston Texans. I love the Texans. They're all red uniforms, dominating with one of my favorite players in NFL history, in Andre Johnson. Absolute pleasure. Some of my, there's a very nostalgic feel. Some of these teams I don't have a personal connection to. It's what you guys want to see. This one is for me. And this was a great team, very fun team, a lot of throwbacks. Remember when Matt Schaub was good? Remember when Matt Schaub would just crap out 5,000-yard seasons? He got his 88 overall. As always, these ratings are in line with the base Madden 12 ratings. I try to get them as accurate as possible. Sometimes it's a little bit different. Sometimes it's give or take a couple points because I literally apply the actual attributes, and the base overall formula is a little bit different in today's Madden than previous Madden. Some players come in higher, some players come in lower. But we got Arian Foster here, Superstar X Factor. He's off of an all-pro season. I mean, Arian Foster, one of the greater running back stories of all time, kind of came as a nothing running back, was really nothing special at Tennessee. And there was a point in time, you got Arian Foster. I mean, not to put non-direct football terms, but he was like a fantasy football league winner every year. You just need this guy, let him do the damage. Outside of that, we got a pretty decent offense around him. Need a little bit of help with wide receiver. We got Walter, Jacoby Jones, you got the veteran Derek Mason, Trindon Holiday is our return man. But kind of looking at this team, probably, there's obvious sense of direction for knowing that we're going 10 years. We're gonna need a quarterback at some point. We're gonna need new wide receivers. We got Owen Daniels. I mean, he was super consistent, maybe even borderline underrated as a tight end. We got Winston, Chris Myers, Dwayne Brown on the offensive line. It's a terrific offense. Defensively, this is the rookie season of J.J. Watt, so it is a very interesting starting point if you're looking back through the history of the Houston Texans. Arguably, I don't even want to say arguably. Is J.J. Watt the greatest Houston Texan of all time? I would say it's between him and probably Andre Johnson. So the fact that we're doing a rebuild of a team that didn't have Super Bowl success, which is what we're going to try to achieve, and you have at the same point like the greatest players this franchise has ever seen, that's pretty damn cool, I think, all things considered. Outside of that, you probably want to build around J.J. Watt here on this D-line, get him some more support. We got Connor Barwin, D'Amico Ryans, Brian Cushing, and Mario Williams at outside linebacker. I mean, just absolute filth. Glover Quinn and Quentin Demps at safety. You don't need a free safety there. We got Jonathan Joseph, Kareem Jackson, Bryce McCann for the secondary. So, I mean, ultimately, you're looking at this team, not really a whole lot needs to be done for the rebuild. This is going to be more of a rebuild where our team's really good, our team's ready to compete, and it's going to be more so how do we replenish these talents, because probably 2-3 years in, this team's going to be aging, and we're going to have to make sure we keep up with drafting in guys that can step in and fill in and take this team over the top. So very excited to get into this rebuild. As always, guys, let me know in the comment section below what teams you want to see next in the retro rebuilds. We're going to be doing this type of content all the way up to Madden 23. So no team is a dumb team. Don't suggest the Eagles. The Eagles will get done, but everything else, open up to fair game. I actually think the next video we're going to do is going to be an RG3 Washington football team, Redskins, Commanders, whatever you want to call it, type scenario. So keep that in mind when you throw your suggestions in, but I very much appreciate all the love and support so far lately. I mean, really, the last month, the channel has been doing very, very well. Very, very happy. Great momentum to roll into a brand new Madden. And thank you guys very much. I'm glad you guys are taking this content. Without further ado, with head coach Harry Pubiak, let's get into year one of this 10-year retro rebuild. All right, on top of the fact that, I want to double check. I don't think we've lost the game yet. Just hit a dev trait scenario. Kareem Jackson goes up to Superstar, which I don't think is too crazy. I'm pretty sure Kareem Jackson, at some point over the last couple of Maddens, has gone up to Superstar. But my God, what a juggernaut of a team we have here. Harry Pubiak, one hell of a coach. Got these guys playing for him, ready to run through a wall. It happens once in a blue moon. And especially the fact that it's happening year one lets us know. Mario Williams, in the sim, got his Superstar to X Factor dev trait. Those are few and far between. Also, undefeated still, 9-0. We're going 17-0. So our year one contract extension, we got Arian Foster, 5-year deal, fairly, I didn't think twice about. Chris Myers on a 2-year. We got Mary Williams, now X Factor on a 5. Actually feels like a bargain, 76 mil. There could have just, put this way, if there was a 1 in front of that, 176 mil, I would have been like, yeah, probably still got to pay this. We got Owen Downs, 5-year deal's a little long for me for a guy that's 28, but, you know, I think he'll age gracefully, the style of play. I mean, he's not a speed guy. He's more of a technician, so, I mean, he shouldn't regress too bad. And then we also got Glover Quinn on a 5-year. Oh, baby. I thought we had a chance to run the gauntlet there. We go 13-4, win the AFC South in year one. Juggernaut. This team on paper was a good team. I expected to make the playoffs. I did not expect to have the #1 offense and the #1 defense. Look at the numbers. Arian Foster, leading rusher, 1,800 yards, 22 touchdowns. Andre Johnson, leading receiver, 105 catches, 1,800 yards, 14 touchdowns. Mario Williams, 31 sacks. Good night. Juggernaut team. Love it, man. I just woke up this morning. I was like, you know what? I'm doing that Texans rebuild. Look at the numbers, baby. Matt Schaub, 5K passing yards, 40 touchdowns to 10 picks. We saw the stat line for Foster. Well, who had 7 touchdowns down there? Casey? Who's this guy? Derek Ward, 7 touchdowns. What's going on there? Andre absolutely crushed it. 900 yards there from O'Daniels. 9 touchdowns, Jacoby Jones. But it's all about Andre. Defensively, 115 tackles. D'Amico Ryans, 4 picks. 31.5 sacks for Mario Williams. I'm trying to think what scheme. I know we're running, I think, Texans offense, and then the defensive playbook, because we're 3-4. I think we're Chargers. I'm pretty sure we're Chargers. Texans offense, Chargers defense. 31.5 sacks. Good night. Picks could be better, but, I mean, we don't have S-tier corners. Jonathan Joseph's the best. 3 picks. That's not too shabby. Maybe if Cushing got a couple picks, that would have been cool. Looking at the yearly awards, MVP, give it to Mario Williams. At this point, Arian Foster, #2. Mario Williams coming in #4. I like it. Offensive Player of the Year goes to Arian Foster. Defensive Player of the Year goes to Mario Williams. We have J.J. Watt, runner-up for Defensive Rookie of the Year, just getting beat up by Von Miller. No worries with that. Matt Schaub, runner-up for Quarterback of the Year. Arian Foster, Running Back of the Year. Andre Johnson, Wide Receiver of the Year. Mario Williams, linebacker. There's just nowhere to go. And I would say the only thing that kind of sucks about this, one, Matt Schaub's going to go up to Superstar. But it's like a lot of our top players, they're already at X Factor, so we're not going to get that added bump. Like Arian Foster's already an X Factor, there's nowhere to go. Mary Williams already X Factor, nowhere to go. Andre Johnson already X Factor, nowhere to go in terms of dev traits, but we got to feel good about that. So all this being said, we're 2 minutes of gloating about how good we are year one. We're going to lose in the first round. A team that's barely above 500, I'm sure they're going to beat us in the first round of the playoffs. That's just what Madden does. It toys with you. Fucking toys with you. It fucking... Oh, this game, man. Make it make sense. So for the draft, I made an aggressive play to move up just a little bit, 10 spots. I gave our first round pick, our third this year, our third next year, aka the picks I never deal with. Those are kind of playing with house money. To go up to pick 18, I had 2 players I was looking at. I need a D-tackle and or I need a guard. Michael Brockers just went off the board. He was the best defensive tackle available, so I didn't want to let the guard that would be plug-and-play day one starter for me to bounce. And with that being said, we have traded up to secure the services of a David DeCastro, day one plug-and-play starting guard, which that dev trade, I think it might be gold. It should be gold. Hopefully it's gold. So taking a look at our draft recap, we get David DeCastro, 74, with the hidden dev in the first round. Traded up to get his services. Then we got Kendall Reyes, D-tackle, 64. Peter Kahn, center, 64. Just all Desmond. I got Brad Smelly, legendary Texan. Brad Smelly. For contract extensions, nothing crazy. 3 years Schaub, 5 years Dwayne Brown. I gotta let Barwin go, man. 81 mil. You know, we got a lot of money. We got a lot of money on the books right now on the defensive side of the ball. So we're gonna have to replenish that. And I got Earl Mitchell here. Went up dev. Botched the recording on that one, but we had a dev straight scenario for him. I think we'll give him a contract. Year 2, a little bit of dip in victories here. 10-7, second place in the division. I will say at the midway point, we were 3-5, so it could have been way worse, and I would have been reacting a lot differently. Look at the big picture. We went from literally having like the goddamn league leaders and everything. Mario Williams went from 31 sacks down to 19. Quite the regression. Still outstanding. Don't get me wrong, but when you set the pace, when you set the bar so high in year one, expect that for at least a couple seasons. Matt Schaub, not too bad. 47 yards, 37 touchdowns, 12-11 for Foster. That's actually kind of average. 13-15, Andre Johnson. 11-10 for Kevin Wall. I mean, we still desperately need to get another game-changing wide receiver here. on this squad. Maybe look towards the draft this upcoming year for that. 19 sacks, Mary Williams. 16.5 from J.J. Watt. 12 from Antonio Smith. We got 4 picks, Glover Quinn, 3 for Jonathan Joseph. I believe that's what he had last year. Top 5 offense in the NFL. MVP goes to Michael Vick. Mashab coming in number 8 in the AFC. Just seeing if we have any award winners straight up. Andre Johnson, wide receiver of the year. Man, actually looks like the Broncos were pretty legit. Like to avoid them in the playoffs if possible. And the first round, we got the New England Patriots. We were 1 and done last year as a 13-4 1-seed dominant powerhouse. This year, not nearly as good. And we get a victory, 24-21, going to the divisional round against the Chargers, who are legit, riddled with talent. Could be a tough one. No chance. Conference championship game, get the final. The best team in the AFC South is right away. 88 overall, Houston Texans going up against CJ2K and the Tennessee Titans. The AFC South bracket rights are on the line. The Super Bowl is on the line. And our Houston, they did what? We had the number 1 offense, number 2 defense last year? 1 and done in the playoffs. This year, number 5 offense, we're still good. Don't get it twisted. Last year was just absolutely insane. We're right here in the Super Bowl. I would love to win a Super Bowl in year 2 because that means we're kind of playing with house money. I always just want that little check mark to go next to every one of these rebuilds. Like, we won a Super Bowl. We reached the main goal, and now it's like, let's make it to a dynasty. Let's draft some fun players. Let's have some fun with it. But, the last rebuild we did with the Chicago Bears. That's why there's a quick turnaround on these retro rebuilds, because last rebuild, it was year 9, went to the Super Bowl, lost the Super Bowl, the entire save got corrupted. We went that whole Bears rebuild, no Super Bowls. Got to get a couple there, man. We got to get a couple at least to make up for it. So right out the gate, got the Panthers. Come on, baby. Give me this 1 Super Bowl. Give me this 1 Super Bowl so we're playing with house money for the remaining 8 years of this rebuild. Fucking right we do. 27-23, the Houston Texans. Matt Schaub is the Let's go, man. House money. I want to guess what? These are the 2 newest teams in the NFL. Is it Carolina and Houston? Like the last, I feel like they might be. I mean, you may got Jacksonville in there potentially. I don't know if they came the same year. Carolina, Jacksonville could maybe potentially. But anyways, let's go, man. And that was the gauntlet. 4-0 playoff run. Ends up 27-23 in the Super Bowl. 3 touchdowns, no picks. Defense absolutely shuts down Cam Newton. 79 yards, Arian Foster, 88. We got Foster with 70 out the backfield. Andre Johnson, Owen Daniels getting a touchdown. We got a sack for J.J. Watt. It's dynasty time, baby. We're thinking dynasty. So at pick 32, I was actually just thinking, I was like, man, if there's like a nice bust wide receiver that like we can kind of turn around. When you win a Super Bowl this early, it makes it a little more, we don't need to get a sure thing, but there's nothing there. I'm not Bobby Trees. I've got him a couple times. He's a hidden dev wide receiver. So let's just kind of move towards needs. And then secondary needs would be 3-4 defensive end because Antonio Smith is get out there in age and regressing. And or corner. And looking at the corners that are available, there is a couple. You could go with the bust there in Jonathan Banks. Or the fact that looking for a 3-4 pass rusher. Nothing there. Nothing there. But oh boy, K1 Short is certainly an option. We'll shelf. Because I really think wide receiver, that's a fun spot to get a bust. Because as long as they're top 3 in the sim, they're going to be doing something. You know what I'm saying? They're going to be getting touches. They're going to, have to, rely on the dev trade as much. Because if you get a guy with a normal dev and they're on the defensive side of the ball and they don't really play, they're a backup, they're kind of doomed to begin. But if I can get like a wide receiver 3, fix him up, I will do it. Just not this year, not available. So we will get a successor to Antonio Smith, maybe long-term partner on the other side of J.J. Watt in Kelwan Short. Hidden dev, probably 68, 69, maybe low 70s. And screw it, why not? We'll get a little bit of a bust here. Who's the corner we're talking about? Let's see, Jonathan Banks, redemption potentially. Good God. How are you drafted in the first round? Were you even drafted in the first round? Rodrigo. I got Kelwan Short, 71, hidden dev. Banks, 64. We got Trevardo Williams, Tanner Hawkinson. Jesus Christ. Pretty bad draft, all things considered, for the defending Super Bowl champs. For extensions, we got Brian Cushing on a 4-year deal. And Eric Winston, he wants a little bit more money, but for 3 years, again, you ride your best lineman into the ground. We'll come to an agreement and get him locked in for another 3 seasons. In year 3, our 2014 season, we go 12-5, get our second AFC South title. It sucks we got to run the gauntlet, but at least we were able to defend our Super Bowl title. And like in real life, to put it in context, Houston was terrible this year. This was the year that they sucked to get Jadeveon Clowney, first overall pick. So coming off a Super Bowl victory, winning the division, a lot better in this resim than they were in real life. Look at the big picture. We got Arian Foster, number 3 for rushing yards. Looks like about it. Doesn't mean these guys also didn't have great years. Schaub starting to regress, I think, here a little bit. 4,500 yards, 33 touchdowns, 16 picks. He's down to an 87. That's fine. We still got the boost. But, you know, now it comes to the point. Do we start considering about maybe getting a successor in place, at least over, you know, maybe this draft and the next draft? 17 and 17 for Foster, outstanding. 1,300 yards, 10 touchdowns for Andre Johnson, 1,011 for Owen Daniels. Defensively, 134 tackles, 3 picks for D'Amico. Mufasa, 16.5 sacks. Mary Williams, 11.5. J.J. Watt. We got a couple picks there. Not bad. Happy with it. Top 5 offense in the NFL. Yearly awards very quickly. MVP goes to Matt Ryan. And then just looking for some Houston Texans, if there are some. There's absolutely nothing. Goddamn. But it's all about making the playoffs. It's all about Super Bowls. Oh, it's stacking Super Bowls. People don't remember. I mean, you maybe remember like when we do like the Broncos rebuild and win the MVP with Tebow, but generally individual awards are forgettable. It's all about the Super Bowls, and unfortunately, we don't even make it past the first game to try and defend our Super Bowl title, as we are one and done in the playoffs for the second time in 3 years. So the first round of the 2014 draft, looking at where we need to get better. So we always, back burner is quarterback. Wide receiver would certainly be up there. Offensive line is in a good spot right now. You know, we got a couple of veterans. Generally a good spot. Same, we can go over Owen Daniels for another year. Defensively, corner. Get that third corner. Could get a pass rusher on the other side of Mary Williams. Still looking for a free safety. So we have some options. You know, maybe if there's a clear big bust, maybe. Get a little redemption there. But generally speaking, I'd like to get a good play here. So looking at quarterbacks. Been there, done that with Manziel. Wide receivers, what do we got? Kelvin Benjamin. I mean, honestly, there's a chance for... that's top pick right now. I could get down. He might pull a dev trait, be a little bit on like the lower rating side, and then if things don't work out, make the decision right away to move him to tight end. I don't hate that. The fact that we are getting, though, that he's a day 3 talent might not bode well. It's all about the dev trait for him. If he's like a 64 overall but has a star dev, I can work with that. Defensively, what were we saying? We were saying a pass rusher. So we have, could go D Ford. Could go D Ford's best option. In the secondary, Bradley Roby actually spent some time. You know what? We'll take this one. I don't, this series is about having fun, but I also don't always want to be like, well, almost every draft, or 95% of drafts, we go with good plays. It's been a minute since we've gone for like a little bit of redemption. Why not? Give me the dev trait, though. He does have the dev. This is, you know, for everyone that just, he just chooses a draft. We're remembering our roots here a little bit. We're going to get a couple redemptions here, and it starts Kelvin Benjamin, be it as a wide receiver, be it maybe as a long-term option at tight end. Welcome to Houston. Now, I will say, in the second round, if there's a really good player in the second round, I won't hesitate to grab him because we kind of took a bust here in the first. Honestly, kind of junk here in the second round, so I'm just going to go with the pass rusher, Jeremiah Atoshu. Yikes. So, Africa, at least we got the hidden dev with Kelvin Benjamin. Who would have thought that our best pick would have been Kelvin Benjamin? We got Logan Thomas. Speaking of tight end converts, computer hooked us up with that. Chris Smith, Ed Reynolds. Ugh. We got Kelvin. Let's go. Here's a quick look at our team as we gear up for year 4, aka Madden 15. Schaub is regressing. It's getting to that point that we're going to have to pull the trigger on a quarterback and replacement sooner than later. We got Kelvin Benjamin coming in. He's going to be our wide receiver 3. See if we can develop. See if we can make him into something. O-line still very good. Obviously, Andre and Arian Foster doing the damn thing. Defensively, J.J. Watt, Mitchell, and Short make up the front 3. Mario Williams, who's been the star of the show so far in this rebuild, comes back 99 X Factor. We got Cushing and Ryan's double 94s at middle linebacker. Glover Quinn, Jackson, and Joseph, 2 superstar corners. Still some hole. I mean, it's not a complete team. There are some, you know, we're going to have to, I mean, the biggest thing is free agency has been garbage. So it'd be nice to not have to rely on the draft, you know, in the first round every year to get, you know, you can't just keep getting one player to replace, you know, 2, 3 that we need to every single year. So that's kind of why we have a couple holes here and there. But ultimately, still a very good team. Fully expect double-digit wins and go on a playoff run. Fairly light on extensions this year. We got Kareem Jackson. I actually gave him a 4-year deal. Get him till he is 30. Casey Stoddard on a 1-year. Everyone else, see if we can get a little bit younger and or hit the draft. But, I mean, come on, man. One of these years, free agency is going to give us a couple guys that we can at least entertain in signing. It's been barren through 3 seasons so far. And it goes to year 4. We go 12-5. Second place in the AFC South. I mean, a good record. Just the show, give it up to the Colts. A great year for them. Looking at the big board here. Matt Schaub, 3rd in yards. Passing yards, that is. Vontae Davis, 5 picks, man. He should have been ours, man. I tried to give Vontae Davis a free agency. He had no desire. Yeah, man. I like Schaub, but I think we're gonna need to look at a quarterback here. I mean, this is the draft that has Mariota and Winston, and I would actually like to go with Jameis Winston. I don't know if I can try to. I might try to trade up for him, but I'm gonna have to get the first pick. I don't know how badly I want to try to trade multiple first-round picks, or at least try to make that deal happen. But we'll see. I could probably package Matt Schaub. I probably could do 2 firsts in Schaub. I understand, like, just put the context of if whoever has the number 1 pick, they're not in love with Jameis Winston. They know the future, and they know Jameis Winston is kind of a polarizing quarterback. They're like, all right, we'll take 2 firsts and a veteran that could come in and kind of steady the ship. So, I mean, maybe we'll explore that depending on who's there in free agency. But, hey, we made the playoffs. We might be able to go win here. 15-17 for Arian Foster. 15-10 for Andre Johnson. 12-7 for Kevin Walter. Kelvin as our wide receiver 2, because Walter was in the slot. So Kelvin Benjamin started on the outside with Andre. Just not a lot going his way. But, I mean, that's not a brutal first season. Defensively, 137 tackles for D'Amico Ryans. We got 17 sacks, J.J. Watt, 10.5 Mario Williams, 4 picks for Kareem Jackson. Number 1 offense in the NFL, thanks to Arian Foster. Russell Wilson is the MVP. J.J. Watt, Defensive Player of the Year. Congrats to him. What a monster. He's also D Lineman of the Season. We're in the playoffs. Let's go, man. Go on a run. Let's get that second Super Bowl. We got the Patriots. Patriots are a tough assignment. Especially the retro rebuild because they got Brady and all those guys, but they're getting old. And we handle them. 31-17. Next up is the 12-5 Chiefs. They actually look like a juggernaut. 90+ overall. We can hold our heads up high. Better team won. We need to figure out the quarterback spot this year. So, Andre Johnson retired. Fuck. I went like 10 million plus over the second best bid for Randall Cobb. Because obviously we had to replace Andre Johnson. He's just one of those guys, much like Deshaun Jackson. I've tried to resign Randall Cobb no less than 5 or 6 times. And because he's always the top free agent around this point. Never comes to my team. And now I'm second guessing myself, because if I want to try to make a big trade to go out and get a quarterback here, we got a lot of holes. I gotta replace Andre Johnson. I gotta replace, John Joseph's getting old. I don't have a safety. I don't have a starting safety right now. I don't have a starting edge rusher on the other side of Mary Williams. It's dire. All right, so let's commit to it. Let's have a little bit of fun. Maybe we can draft a little bit better with our later round picks. But we said our first rounder this year was pick 27, our first rounder next year, and veteran Matt Schaub to the New York Giants, who held the first overall pick in this draft. And we're not sold on either Jameis Winston and or Marcus Mariota, which obviously in hindsight, almost any team in this position would make those trades, because obviously both those quarterbacks have struggled in real life. But for us, we gotta take a swing here. We're going Jameis Winston. Jameis Winston time, baby. Pairing him with his college team with Kelvin Benjamin. Let's see if Jameis, to close out this rebuild, can bring us to another Super Bowl. Next pick's not even really cheesing. He's a second round pick. So we're gonna grab ourselves our Andre Johnson, wide receiver 1, and we're gonna get Tyler Lockett. So, take a look at our draft recap. Trading 2 first-round picks and our veteran superstar quarterback, Matt Schaub. We were able to get Jameis Winston, 71 hidden dev. Look at that. Lovely. -5 morale hit. Then in the second round, we had to replace Andre Johnson. So we went out and got Tyler Lockett. Obviously not stylistically the same type, but 72 hidden dev. We can work with that. I don't know what the dev... we've drafted Tyler Lockett before. I feel like it's a star. Third round, we got Stephon Diggs. Let's go. Computer took the wheel here and got us Stephon Diggs, 71 hidden dev. So that's pretty much like recouping one of those first-round picks. Because I'm going to say that's not going to be a star dev. Beyond that, though, they didn't really hook us up too much. Come on, could have given us, a starting safety a little bit later. But I'm not going to be picky, man. Usually once or twice in a rebuild, the computer between rounds 3 and 5 will get us a good player. And Stephon Diggs very much, ticks that box. And we supposedly, I guess we knew 2 wide receivers because Walter also, we let his contract expire. So we had to replace 2 guys to pair with Kelvin Benjamin. We did that in one draft. And we have a brand new quarterback. The Jameis Winston era has begun in Houston. Pretty substantial extension period. I got J.J. Watt. I actually gave him a 5-year deal. It was $103 million. We got D'Amico Ryans. I gave him a 3-year extension. Got him locked in. 5 years for David DeCastro. 2 years for Jonathan Joseph. So keeping a lot of our superstar talent on the Texans and off the open market. Year 5 comes to a close. 11-6. Our first year 1 of the Jameis Winston era. And he gets his AFC South title. Gotta love that. I actually have a weekly award winner here, week 18. It's probably defense. It is a J.J. Watt. 3 sacks. Beautiful. But I saw some pretty crazy numbers from this offense. Oh, look at that. Number 1 offense, defense, kind of shit. But let's see, big board. What are we dealing with? Kelvin Benjamin. So Jameis Winston, Kelvin Benjamin reunited from the Florida State games. Kelvin Benjamin as our wide receiver 1 this year. 101 catches, 1,500 yards, 10 touchdowns. J.J. Watt, 19 sacks, 20 TFLs. It is all looking pretty good. So in Jameis Winston's first year, good night even. 4,900 yards, 39 touchdowns. So he equals pretty much our best year that we're getting in a Matt Schaub. And he's superstar dev. Right on. He might be X Factor, honestly. If he straight up was a superstar as a prospect, and those numbers should give him a dev trade up increase. So we're gonna have an X Factor Jameis Winston, 1,500 yards, 26 touchdowns from Arian Foster. I haven't seen touchdown numbers like that since like prime LaDainian Tomlinson for the Chargers. He had 30 total touchdowns. He might be MVP, Arian Foster, all things considered. A little bit of a disappointing year for Stephon Diggs, who's an X Factor. Owen Daniels had a good year. Tyler Lockett, 1,100 yards, 10 touchdowns. He is superstar. And then, of course, Kelvin Benjamin, who is going to be most likely due for a dev trade increase off that start. But that's an outstanding year. Defensively, 144 tackles. D'Amico Ryans. We had 19.5 sacks. J.J. Watt, 16 from Mario Williams, 5 picks. Jonathan Joseph. Good God, let me just have a little salad here real quick to enjoy the fruits of our labor. Oh, you know what? 16-1 for the... That's actually not fair that the Chiefs ended up with Russell Wilson here in the sim. We all know playbooks make things really matter here. Arian Foster, 30 total touchdowns, gets 4th. Absolute robbery. Jameis Winston is a rookie quarterback, number 7 in the MVP race. Defensive player of the year goes to J.J. Watt. Offensive rookie of the year goes to Jameis Winston. We have... What? I got to see what MJD did to beat out Arian Foster. 30 touchdowns for Arian Foster. Kelvin Benjamin, wide receiver of the year. Mario Williams, linebacker of the year. But just what in the hell did MJD do for the Jags? Remember, 30 touchdowns. He had 32 touchdowns. All right, I end my complaint right there. Freakish numbers. Would love to get the first playoff victory of the Jameis Winston era. And we just skunk the Ravens 31-0. Now we have the Cincinnati Bengals. This should be a winnable game, honestly. Bengals got nobody. They got nobody. So now it's time to get the inverse of when we build a team that's so good and we get fucked over. Now it's time. The Chiefs, 92 overall, 16-1, MVP Russell Wilson. It is time for them to go crashing rain. Those teams are too good to win in this sim. It was close. It was close, man. You know what? I'll take that. I'll take that. Everything about this year for year 1 of the Jameis Winston era. But, man, I'm a little bit worried, though. Going forward, we're going to have to contend with that Chiefs team. If we're going to win a Super Bowl, we'll probably have to go through that Chiefs team. We'll get there, though. All right, I've just come down. I just can't sign. I've struck out on every free agent. There's been other years that I just don't even want to highlight it because it's depressing. Like, just 10 million more than, I don't even know how many, it's the bars are all classified as points. Like at least 10 points more than every other second bid. Literally no one wants to come to Houston. Not even trying to cheese, our number one position in need is free safety. We have Glover Quinn and like a 60-something overall. Kevin Byard is here. He is literally the top free safety available. I'm pretty sure I remember you drafted him not too long. I think I drafted him 2 rebuilds ago. I think he's superstar. So, let's go. Really need the computer to hook us up here. We got Kevin Byard in the first round. Adolphus Washington, Brandon Williams, David Onyemata. Not too bad. I thought he might have had a dev. I mean, not brutal. Look at the ratings. Aren't too bad. And I'm pretty sure this might be a superstar. That's a big get for the defense. Makes up for all the lack of free agency signings. Year 6, let's get a big picture look at our squad. Offensively, Jameis Winston went up to X Factor after he balled out last season. We got Arian Foster, X Factor. Stephon Diggs, X Factor. Tyler Lockett, superstar. Kelvin Benjamin gaining that dev trait last year after his monster year up to a superstar. As you can see, you still got Owen Dan. He's regressing. Probably going to look at a replacement here coming up. The left-hand side, our 2 tackles are good. Arguably the most important position. DeCastro's a beast, but center left guard, just, gotta upgrade that over time. Can't fix it all, but we're gonna try to. Defensively, we got Watt Mitchell and Short still. Linebackers are familiar faces. Kevin Byard already used our skill tree ability to unveil. He is a superstar. Got a long way to go, though. He's still only a 70 overall. Sometimes the dev trait can be a little bit misleading. And, obviously the overall rating plays a massive part of how well they play in this game. It's not like you can have a team of 70 overall X Factors and they would dominate. You get a lot more balance between the high dev traits and the high overalls. So, gotta have to develop Kevin Byard. Jackson, we got Joseph still. I mean, corner, again, gotta have to put that on the top of the priority list alongside edge rusher and interior offensive line for our team needs. But I don't want to leave this focusing on the negatives. Focus on the positives. This team, for the most part, is absolutely stacked. And really, I expect we should be playoff contenders, Super Bowl contenders for the remaining, what do we got, 5 years of the video? Let's go. Couple tough calls, had to think about it for extensions. Arian Foster, he's 30. This is more of like I want him to retire, so I have no problem giving him the 4-year. No problem giving Mario a 3-year. Winston, need him to retire here. K1 Short, 3-year deal, easy. We got Glover Quinn. Didn't really want to give him 3 years at 30 and 84 overall. The regression is going to be pretty bad, but, I mean, again, I would say I wouldn't be as loose with the contract extensions if we were having any luck whatsoever signing guys in free agency, but because it's been so difficult to attract decent, potential upgrade level free agents at any point in this rebuild, kind of puts a little bit more importance on making sure we absolutely crush this extension period. I got Earl Mitchell in a 2-year. Owen Daniels wants 3 at 33 is a little bit of a tough sell, to be honest with you, so we might have to actually let him go. That's about it. But still, they don't throw around a decent chunk of money, and luckily, because the downside of not signing free agents is you have plenty of salary cap to really hammer home and keep your players in-house. Year 6, 16-1. I think we had a couple 15-win seasons. Never 16-1. I want to know who beat us. The Jags! Week 3, we lost week 3. And then we just absolutely crushed it this year. Unreal, man. I just like now going forward, we still got 4 more years after this. There's a chance. This team has it in them, I think, to go 17-0. Look at the stats. What do we got? Jameis Winston was fine. 8th in yards, 7th in touchdowns. Good year. 15 and 19 from Arian Foster. 12 and 10 for Tyler Lockett. 1,000 for Owen Daniels. 1,000 for Stephon Diggs. Kelvin Benjamin literally very much regressed. That's like 1,000 less yards. I guess different role in the team. Defensively, Brian Cushing, 128 tackles, 4 picks, 23.5 sacks for TJ Watt. So that's the second time we've... Does that have to break the record? Mario Williams got 31 one year, and I think, there we go, JJ Watt. And we at least tied it. So we've had 2 different players break the current sack record in this rebuild, which is outstanding. Second offense in the NFL, and for award winners, AP is the MVP, or AD, whatever. JJ Watt, Defensive Player of the Year. We got Aaron Foster, running back of the year. David DeCastro, lineman of the year. J.J. Watt, D lineman of the year. We're 16-1. You already know what's going to happen. We're going to go 0-1 here in the playoffs. One and done. We're going to pull the Dallas Cowboys. But we are going to be taking on, in the divisional round, the team, of course, that defeated us. The 1-16-1. If they beat us again, you know what? I'll be pretty mad. So now we get a chance here in the conference championship to revenge the Chiefs, who were 16-1 last year when they beat us. This is a perfect revenge game. Please let us win to keep the balance of things. Fuck! 35-28, the Chiefs own us again. Put up 14 points in the fourth quarter, 4 touchdowns, 1 pick for Russell Wilson. Just not good enough here from the Jags. Or what am I saying, Jags? The Texans. The Texans defense really letting us down. Damn it. Is what it is. Actually, glad to get a couple free agents to go our way. We got Chance Warmack, 84 star dev guard, and Jordan Reed, 77 superstar tight end to take over for Owen Daniels. I did also try and get Honey Badger, but he accepted a lesser bid from the Buffalo Bills. Well, we got an upgrade at edge rusher with pick 30 in the first round. We select Hassan Reddick. Wow, no dev trade. And then we'll just get a, concede the second pick, get a guy that's more of an average player, good athlete, add some more speed to our secondary. So the draft actually kind of went crazy. Hassan Reddick, even though he's an over dev, 78 overall. Fabian Moreau, who there was other better corners available. Like Shaquille Griffin was there, he is a dev. 74 with a normal dev. So 2 high overall, no dev trade players. If the computer hooked us up with D.D. Westbrook, complete surplus requirement, 76 hidden dev. I don't know where that rating came from. Then we got Jamal Williams, known running back, Xavier Woods, 70 normal. I thought they would change maybe a dev there. Corey Levin at guard and Mo Ali Khan. Like some good name value here overall in this draft. Not a bad one. A late extension period, we got Dwayne Brown and Jonathan Joseph, 2 veterans, coming back on short-term deals. Year 7, we go 11-6, get a AFC South Championship, 3rd in a row. So absolutely kind of dominating the division. Big picture. J.J. Watt, 19 sacks, 17 TFLs, behind a ridiculous number there from JPP. I'm interested to see what Jameis Winston. Still pretty good. I was thinking we're going to see some regression. I think we're going to see, 29 touchdowns, 20 picks or something like we experienced with Matt Shaw. But no, man, Jameis Winston is the real deal. Hell of a year there. Solid season, Arian Foster. Big year to Stephon Diggs. 1,100 yards, 14 touchdowns, 3,000-yard receivers. Defensively, Brian Cushing leads the team in tackles. We got big year to J.J. Watt, Mary Williams, 11.5 sacks. Kevin Byard leads the team's 3 interceptions. MVP goes to Joe Flacco. Ooh, I'm not gonna lie, still kind of. I'm happy that Matt Schaub's still crushing it. Good for him. J.J. Watt, D lineman of the year. That's about it for the awards. But come on now. At this point, Super Bowl, man. We need to get that second Super Bowl. This team has already gone through the ups and downs of like a mini rebuild. We quickly transitioned from the end of the Schaub, Andre Johnson era. We need to, let's go. Got the 11-6 Chargers. Boom, 40 bomb. Now it's the Patriots. Gronk, Brady, Belichick. Tough assignment in the AFC, but Super Bowl's on the line. Let's go. We're back in the Super Bowl, baby. Absolutely kicking the shit out of every team in the AFC. Sets up. Oh, come on, man. 9-8. They don't deserve to be here. Looking for our second Super Bowl, this time against Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers. The Houston Texans. They just fall short by a touchdown. 21-14, the Panthers get it done. Nate Gary, Eagles legend. Super Bowl MVP. I don't even care about the box score at this point. Damn. Proud of the guys, though. Great run. And I think with Jameis Winston at the helm, we'll be back. We get a nice pickup in free agency, landing Bradley Roby, 83, star dev corner. All right, we'll start this draft. Pick 31. We need a center and a safety. The top safety right now is Derwin James. So we'll take the lesser of a solid player And we'll grab James Daniels, who doesn't even have a dev. All right, well, this will chalk up as going for a not OP draft, because I could have got freaking Derwin James. I will just grab the top safety available, which is Ronnie Harrison out of Alabama. And he does not come with a dev. Thought there might have been a chance. Draft recap, James Daniels, at least he pulls a decent rating, 73. Harrison with a 68. Got Chuck Secor for Quentin Meeks pulling a decent rating, but overall, just, an average draft class, no devs. So for contract extensions, we got a lot of money got thrown around here. We got Stephon Diggs, 4-year deal. I'm going to come back to the table with Brian Cushing. I'm not going to let him go. We're going to lock him in for the remainder of the rebuild. Got Lockett on a 4-year, Benjamin on a 4-year, 1 year for Earl Mitchell, 1 year. He had the veteran D'Amico Ryans here, even though he's regressing to freaking sand at this point. Year 8, look who the big bad 1 seed is in the AFC. You're 13-4 Houston Texans, winning our 4th straight AFC South title. Got the, I think this is the 2nd time. We were the 1 seed. We were 16-1, obviously, 2 years ago. Taking a look at the old Jameis Winston, most passing yards. Stephon Diggs, 2nd most receiving yards. And I think that's about it. It's probably going to look better, though, once we get a closer look. Jameis Winston, 1st in yards, 6th in touchdowns. Beautiful. He's absolutely crushing it. Good year at Aaron Foster. Diggs, Lockett, Benjamin, 3-headed attack. Even Jordan Reed, we almost had 4,000-yard receivers. That's beautiful. Cushing goes off. We got 15.5 sacks, Barry Williams, 13.5 for Mr. Watt. Intercept. I mean, we've never really had a prolific pick artist at any point on this Texas defense. Russell Wilson wins the MVP. Jameis Winston coming in at number 7. And we got best O-lineman goes to David DeCastro. Best linebacker going to Mario Williams. Able to kick our feet up. But I'm always super nervous, man, when you get to kick your feet up as you are the 1 seed, because it makes it not much worse if you're 1 and done. Madden cheese, sim cheese, whatever you want to call it, acts up. First up, we got that's not a bad team. Only a 3 overall point difference. It's not super one-sided, but able to knock them on their ass. Next up is the 12-5 Cleveland Browns. Winner of this game goes to Super Bowl. Trying to get back to the Super Bowl for Houston to run it back, and that's exactly what we do. Back-to-back Super Bowls. Hopefully not back-to-back Super Bowl losses. This time it is the 11-6 Niners. They're 87 overall, so they're a solid team. We don't want to lose 2 in a row, man. Oh, my God. They're starting to say things about Jameis. He can't win the big one. We're kind of getting to the now or never if we're going to get another Super Bowl in this rebuild. So we're going to be more aggressive in free agency. We got Dante Fowler, who we're going to kick to an outside linebacker spot. And then pretty low-rated David Bakhtiari. Does still have the superstar ability. 80 left tackle, who now plays right tackle, apparently. So going into the 2019 draft, our biggest need right now is like a middle linebacker. Not really any middle linebackers worthy of a first-round selection, but we could get a little creative. And we are going to go with a little bit of a throwback to our Raiders franchise a couple years ago. One of the most overpowered players we've ever done a position switch with. And he doesn't even have a depth trait! Brutal. I might just keep his ass at strong safety then. All right, screw this. We're gonna try to swing for the fences, thinking of all the players that could have a dev. I'm gonna go Dre Greenlaw. Hey, here we go. So taking a look at a draft. Jonathan Abrams, 70 normal. We got Dre Greenlaw, 66 hidden dev. We're gonna kick him inside a bit of linebacker. We got Bryce Love, computer for that, 72. Yeah, may have a draft. Very surprised Abrams didn't have at least a star. I just got hit with the franchise tag me option here for the offer feedback. Jameis Winston straight up says, nah. Like, I was getting to a point where, like, I couldn't pay him anymore. The game wouldn't let me. So, gonna introduce him to the franchise tag, because we only got 2 years left here. We'll get Mary Williams. Hopefully he'll run the whole gauntlet. That'll be pretty dope. He's been an absolute monster for us. And obviously, he's the sack champion. Most sacks in NFL history belongs to Mr. Mario Williams, which is pretty cool. We'll get Quan Short here. We'll get Bard locked in, do a 4-year. Man, that's the first time in all of these retro rebuilds I've had a player of this caliber say F you. Our 5th AFC South title in a row is tightly contested this year, but able to have some sort of tiebreaker. Jameis Winston 2nd. Oh my God, I can't wait to franchise tag this dude's ass. 5,100 yards for. I mean, what a god Jameis Winston's actually been. Hoster killed it. Receivers killed it outside of Kelvin. Even then, he had 8 touchdowns. That ain't bad. 20 sacks, J.J. Watt, 19 Mario Williams. The 1-2 punch is absolutely lethal. MVP goes to Mariota. Jameis Winston coming in at number 3. And we got the linebacker of the year going to Mario Williams. But it's all about the playoffs, man. 2 straight Super Bowl appearances. 2 straight Super Bowl losses. Need that luck, man. I want that second Super Bowl. It's been a minute, man. It's been an absolute minute. Year 2. We won the freaking Super Bowl. It's been way too long. AFC Championship game now against the Baltimore Ravens. Super Bowl on the line. Trying to make it to our 3rd straight Super Bowl. Hopefully we don't make a... we don't even have the chance to pull a Buffalo Bills. So now everything is down to the 10th and final year to try to win this second rebuild. And by second rebuild, I mean second Super Bowl this rebuild. It's 2:30 in the morning. Salads have been consumed. We're good. We're getting through it. We're battling. Year 10. Let's go. So there we go, man. Franchise tag, 1 year, $40 million. There goes half my salary cap. Had to strike a deal with the Falcons. It's a final draft. I need 1 impact playmaker. I had to trade to pick 12, so the free fall stops for easily a day 1 starter for our year 10 team. With the 12th pick, the Houston Texans select strong safety, day 1 starter, Isaiah Simmons. Oh, no. Let's go. That'll do. 83 hidden dev, Isaiah Simmons. Here is our final Houston Texan retro rebuild team. Jameis Winston gets his own mini. Like, this is his own mini Jameis Winston episode. It's not only a Texans retro rebuild, it's a Jameis Winston, like, career mode revival, whatever you want to call it. 9 X Factory's unstoppable. We got Arian Foster going the full 10. We got Diggs, Lockett, Benjamin, Dwayne Brown going the full 10. Warmack, Daniels, DeCastro, Bakhtiari, and Jordan Reed. Just an absolutely stacked offense. Defensively, we got TJ Watt going the full 10 years. Watt's the kind of one low point on the team. Kawan Short. Mario Williams going the full 10 years. Brian Cushing going the full 10 years. We got Dante Fowler. Isaiah Simmons, only a star def. All right, it's a little bit of a undersell. Buyer there, Kareem Jackson going the full 10 years as well. So we got a couple guys that have been here for a minute. They know what it takes to win a Super Bowl. Let's go, man. We got 1 more year to do it and get our second. Year 10, final year, we come out absolutely melt the competition. 15-2. That is our 8th in 10-year AFC South title. Jameis Winston, first in yards, first in touchdowns. Good God. Stephon Diggs making top 3 receivers as well. Kareem Jackson, 2nd place in interceptions with 6 picks. But my man, Jameis Winston, dude. That might be MVP. He might get the MVP to boot, and we go out with a Super Bowl to finish this damn thing out. Here, Foster, good year. Diggs and Lockett absolutely crushing it. Defensively, Cushing lead the team in tackles, 20 sacks for Mr. J.J. Watt, 13.5 Mario Williams, 6 picks for Kareem Jackson. Number 1 offense. I mean, you got to give it to him. You don't give it to, yeah. Finally, we get an MVP. We were just a checklist. We're checking and crossing everything off. Look at the career stats here. Through 5 years, Jameis, Hall of Fame pace. 29,000 yards, 230 touchdowns. Hall of Fame pace. That's all could be said. Arian Foster, we got 14,000 rushing yards, 167 tutties. 7K yards, 50 touchdowns, Diggs. 7K yards, 50 touchdowns, Lockett. Calvin also, salvage his career for sure. On the defensive side, we have Kareem Jackson, Brian Cushing, all going over 1,000 tackles, 172 sacks for Mr. J.J. Watt, 169 for Mario Williams. Absolutely crushing it. As you can see, though, Kareem Jackson. You can't, sometimes the stats don't exactly line up. Outstanding numbers, man. Just don't be one and done. That's all. The 1 seed, the big bad team in the AFC. No one wants to play the Texans. Make it feel that way. Get me back into the Super Bowl at least, so I don't have anything to bitch about. Let me get in there so we can see the confetti as we sit front row and watch this team win the Super Bowl. So we handle the Bengals 27-20, go to the conference championship. 7 overall points better than the competition. There's no way. This is RNG. Thank you, we won. If this is RNG, you need to give me the win 80% of the time. 8 out of 10 times. But at least we go to the Super Bowl here against my beloved Philadelphia Eagles, and we get to finish this rebuild out right, sitting front row and watching the Houston Texans win their 2nd ever Super Bowl. There's nothing this Philadelphia Eagles team can bring that scares this Houston Texans squad. I think this is going to be a very one-sided Super Bowl, if you have to ask me. Obviously, that's a confidence in Jameis Winston, which is something that I don't think I'd ever say. It's, it's not going our way, but look, we get moved the ball very quickly there. Able to tie this one up at 10. Defense holds. Offense just says, you know what, thanks for holding. We'll get you a touchdown before halftime. Go to halftime with the lead. Open up the second half. Philly starts hot. Gets the first touchdown of the second half. We trade tutties to keep our 7-point lead. Philly ties it up at 24. Going into the fourth quarter. Philly going down the field, marching it right now. Gets the go-ahead touchdown. Oh, no. Might need to come in for a bomb here. 4th and 9. What do we got? Who we got? Wide receiver Tyler Lockett's probably our deep threat. Yep. Stephon Diggs there as well. Just bomb it, dude. No, you can't do anything else. You gotta just let it fly. Boom! Who is that? He's gone. Needed that. I mean, we might have scored too quickly there. But what a touchdown. Stephon Diggs ties this one at 31. What can our defense do? Famed defense at this point. Hold him to a field goal. Oh, it's 4th down again. What are these play calls? 4th down, there's like a run. Unbelievable. All right, we got to check it up to somebody. Diggs, Calvin. Calvin would probably be the funniest guy to see if we can catch it. Pressure's there from Philadelphia. Ball falls on the turf. And we almost complete a Buffalo. 3 Super Bowl losses in this rebuild. Jameis Winston does not have what it takes. He has 3. He was responsible. 3 Super Bowl losses for Jameis Winston. Does not have what it takes to win a Super Bowl. But luckily, way back in the Madden 13 season, a.k.a. year 2, we were able to seal the deal. And it was Matt Schaub leading us to a Super Bowl victory. So unfortunately, that's how this video is going to end. Overall, I think it was hugely successful here with the Houston Texans. And I do think the next video I'm going to be dropping will be something like RG3 Washington featured. And then I think, honestly, I'm probably going to do the Philadelphia Eagles. Got to get my Eagles in. Don't know when I'm going to have access to Madden 23 and start working on that content. Obviously, once I start doing that, probably going to cool off a little bit with the retro stuff. But can you let me know in the comment section below what team you want to see before we start to close things up for Madden 23? What team do I have to get to? Let me know in the comment section below. If it's your first time stopping by, don't be afraid to hit that subscribe button, smash the like button if you enjoyed. It helps out with the YouTube algorithm, helps the channel more than you know. And I'll see you guys back in the next one. Peace out. Love ya.